Hi, this is Beth Secord and welcome to your first day of class. I'd like to start out by apologizing for the watermark across my face. The university is trying to get my office computer set up with the free Camtasia software, but for now I'm using the trial version on my home computer, which is working fine. So as soon as tech gets it sorted out, the license, the watermark will be off my face, but for now we'll have to just deal with it. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about the content for this class. I'm really excited about teaching critical thinking here. When I interviewed with the college, I told the dean about my aspirations for teaching critical thinking in a different way using new research in behavioral economics. And he got so excited about it, he gave me the job. So it's one of the things that got me the job here. So traditionally, critical thinking is taught by teaching logical reasoning skills. So these are the type of skills that would make you good at doing Sudoku or other puzzles like that. And that's an important element in critical thinking, and we'll be focusing the middle part of the semester on propositional logic and categorical logic. So here's an example of a problem in categorical logic. So suppose someone tells you that all barbers are singers and that some Italians are singers. And then from those two assertions, they conclude that some Italians are barbers. Now, does it follow that some Italians are barbers from the two premises preceding that? Well, it seems not. It seems suspicious, but why? So we'll be talking about why, but all barbers are singers. So if every barber is a singer, the barber will be in the small circle, the singer will be in the large circle. Some singers, there are some singers that are not barbers, but every barber is a singer. And then the second premise says that some Italians are singers. But it's possible that some Italians can be non-barber singers. So the circles are intersecting there where Italians and singers. So it does not follow that some Italians are barbers from those two sentences. So if you didn't follow that, that's okay. We'll be getting into that. We'll do about a month on categorical and propositional logic. Here's an easier problem. Suppose I say gas prices will either go up or go down. And then the person on TV comes on and says, gas prices will not go up. So then what can you conclude? You can conclude that they will go down. So that's what follows from those two claims. So that's the kind of logical thinking that traditional critical thinking class would train you in, and that's really important to be able to know the way sentences or propositions interact with their conclusion. That's really important. But in my class, we'll be also spending half the time looking at new research in behavioral economics. Daniel Kahneman, the author of your textbook here, Thinking Fast and Slow, won the Nobel Prize for his research in behavioral economics. So Daniel Kahneman talks about a lot of ways that humans are systematically flawed in their thinking. And these flaws in thinking are predictable and happen all the time. They cost us millions of dollars, tons of heartache, lost time, frustration, stress. So if you can predict and see these fallacies coming up in your lives and these biases in thinking, you can save yourself a lot of money, a lot of pain, a lot of heartache. So some of these fallacies we're going to be looking at that Daniel Kahneman has researched is the planning fallacy, the optimism bias, the sunk cost fallacy, confirmation bias, sharpshooter fallacy. So these fallacies are really predictable. So for instance, the planning fallacy, we'll be talking about that next time. The planning fallacy is that all humans tend to overestimate what they can get done. They overestimate how well they will do at their tasks, and they underestimate how long it will take them to do this. So this happens everywhere from you, the students trying to cram in an extra online class. into your already busy schedule. You expect that you can get to it, that you'll do well, and you end up over planning, overcrowding your schedule. So from small cases like that to huge government projects that run billions of dollars over budget. It happens time and time again, and yet we still make the mistakes over and over. The Australian government makes the mistake, then the Malaysian government makes the same mistake, the US government makes the same mistake again, the Brits make it, the Irish make it, and no one learns from their mistakes. So Daniel Kahneman has given this fallacy in thinking a name, the planning fallacy, with hopes that we can stop making this mistake. Another mistake in thinking, the sunk cost fallacy, is the thought that since you've already spent time, money, and energy in some project, you have to keep spending time, energy, and money on that project. But a sunk cost is what you can't get back. If you've already spent the money in the past, if you've already put that energy into a certain project in the past and that's in the past, you can't go back and recoup those costs. And you don't need to keep dishing out money and time. You can abandon the project. So a lot of people don't want to cut their losses. They don't want to say that they've wasted their time, so they keep investing. So I taught critical thinking last semester, and I had a student who spent a lot of money and time in a major that she hated. And she did not want to quit the major because she'd already spent the money for the credits, she'd already spent the time, but she kept going. Another student in the class said she did that. She went into nursing. She hated nursing, but she'd already spent the time and money getting her nursing degree. And she spent 5 years as a nurse, hated every day of her job. And she was finally back at school, changing her job. So, yes, you can't get back the classes. You can't get back the time in the past. So you can just not commit the sunk cost fallacy and save yourself a lot of time and money. Another bias we'll talk about is the confirmation bias. So the confirmation bias is the tendency to look for ways that what you already believe is true and ignore times when what you believe is false. A lot of racist and sexist beliefs are confirmed this way. So if you have a certain racist or sexist belief, you will notice every time a woman is a bad driver, but you will not notice the times that women are good drivers. So you have a certain sexist belief that X, and you just notice the times that the belief is confirmed, but not the times the belief is disconfirmed. So this happens all the time as well. So we'll talk about all these systematic biases that we make. It's super fascinating research. So this book, again, Thinking Fast and Slow, available in the bookstore, talks about all sorts of different biases. It focuses mainly on the economic impacts of these biases. We're only going to read a few chapters in this book, but if after the semester is over, you'd like to read about some of these other biases that he writes about, I would highly recommend it. The other textbook we'll be looking at this semester is the pair of textbooks, You Are Not So Smart and You Are Now Less Dumb. The textbook that is in the bookstore is You Are Now Less Dumb. We'll be reading a few chapters in this book. The chapters in this book, which you are assigned, will be on Canvas for you to read.